We are live. Hello, 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 everyone. We're early. Don't worry, we're early. So what we're going to do is we're just going to get started with sharing this out, and then we'll talk about what we're here to talk about, which is Crystal. Do you want to show the book just to like give people a teaser? Yes, look at that. Look at that. It's beautiful. It's regal and it's beautiful. So we have an author for the first Dress Your Mate Book Club of the year. But before we get started, let's share this out, everyone, and then we will officially start this party. Alrighty. So I'm going to share. Okay. Sharing. Fun stuff. We can also talk. Don't feel like you have to be quiet.
I was looking at when you shared. I was going to see if I can share it as well.
Yes. Absolutely. Share. Sharing, guys. Everyone tuning in. Are you sharing? Make sure you're sharing. That's how you get messages out there, people. We got to share. Sharing and sharing, especially in the new year. All right. Share. Sharing, especially in Alrighty. And we have a couple more minutes. All right. Making sure the phone is off. So ring. And then we can get started. Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. It is 2020. Yes.
I know.
So excited. It is like, it's symbolic. Every day you are alive and we are all alive. We should be amped and blessed and excited to make this a freaking amazing year. So today marks the first Dress Your Mate Book Club meeting with the wonderful and talented and deeply insightful Crystal Bell Salisbury. Hello. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. All right. So you are incredible. I'm not even going to attempt to share your story. So why don't you take it away by getting everyone just introduced to who you are and all the amazement that you bring to this world.
Awesome. Well, like you said, my name is Crystal Bell Salisbury, and I am originally from a small town called Roanoke, Alabama, but currently reside in Oxford, Alabama. I do a plethora of things. I'm a pageant consultant. I'm a financial coach. I'm a speaker. I'm a content creator. I'm an author. I have very diverse interests, but I love it. You know, I have a passion for all of it. It brings me joy that I'm able to not only impact, you know, my audience, which is women and girls, but just impact the world. And that's kind of me in a nutshell.
Yes. Awesome. And you have written 5 books, right?
Yes, 5 books.
Why don't you show everyone the newest book again and tell them the title and how did we get started? What is this book all about?
Okay, the name of this book is Intangible Crowns, 7 Essential Qualities for the Godly Reign. This is the front, this is the back. And I actually started, I'm trying to see, I think I started writing this book in 2018. And I was just on my laptop and I was just kind of, you know, thinking, what should I write next? Because I just had the writing bug on my back at that moment. And I wanted to write something that would empower women and girls to really know how to effectively reign in their life. And when it comes to reigning, you know, of course, when people think of reigning, they think of royalty, they think of wearing a crown, they think of, you know, that type of thing, but it doesn't always mean that. So I wanted to kind of play on words because I am a pageant girl. So I wanted to talk about reigning in that sense, but also break it down for people who may not necessarily be in pageantry, but who want to, you know, be a boss babe, who want to reign in their lives and to really live out their divine purpose. And I share like 7, like I said, 7 essential qualities, but I'm not going to give all 7. I'm going to give only maybe 2 or 3. And some of the takeaways that I wrote in this book, that in order to reign effectively, there's some qualities that you must have. I'm like, it's one thing to reign in your community. It's one thing to reign in your church or your job or as an entrepreneur. But there are certain things you must have in place. And one of the things that I talk about in the book is integrity. And I'm big on integrity. I don't like liars. And I think it's important when you're not only as a female, whether you're a female entrepreneur, community leader, in the workplace, what have you, you have to have integrity, because integrity is so important. Because if no one can trust you, how can they follow you, and how can you impact them? So I just think that's very important. And another thing that I talk about is knowing what your purpose is. And I think a lot of times with women, we're just kind of floating through life. We're not really understanding what we were created to do, what we're supposed to do. We're just kind of doing this, that, and the other. And it's important to know what we were created to do. Everybody has a purpose. Everybody has a purpose. And I break it down to really teach you how to really discover your purpose. And I'm a big believer in the ask, believe, and receive. And when it comes to asking, of course, everybody has their own, religion. But for me, I'm a Christian. I'm a God girl. So I asked God for my purpose, years ago. Like, God, what is my reason here on the earth? So I asked, and of course, I didn't just ask one time. I asked multiple times because I needed to show him that I was serious about this. And this is something that I really wanted to do. I knew there was more to Crystal than just existing in this world. So I asked, then I believe that eventually that will be revealed to me. And then, of course, I received it. And that's very important. And also, you have to not only ask, believe, and receive, but the belief part is very important, because I think a lot of times people think, well, I'll ask, but they don't really have the belief part. Nothing in life is going to come to you if you don't believe. That's just point blank period. And I think people, that's where they mess up on their part. They don't believe, they don't have a positive mindset about it. And that can hinder you when it comes to knowing what your purpose is.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of three of the things that I want to it's two. I'll tell you one more. I'll give you one more. And another one is when it comes to, I say a woman has to have, and when I say a woman, most of my writing is geared towards women and girls, but of course men can learn from this as well. You have to have wisdom. And you have to, and wisdom isn't necessarily age related. I'm 34 and I can be wise, or a 24-year-old can be wise, but you have to know where to get wisdom from. You have to, surround yourself by like-minded people that you trust, people that are going, going. And also, I think with millennials, I don't want to throw the millennials on the bus. We have this mentality, we know everything, and that's not true. So we have to understand there are people that are much wiser than us, and so we need to learn from them. And also we need to pay attention, because they have some insight that will help us to really navigate through life. And also, I'm a big believer in reading, as of course, because I'm an author. And it's funny when I hear people say they don't read. It's like, well, how do you think you're going to gain knowledge and wisdom if you don't read? So I'm a big believer in reading, not just anything, but things of substance, whether it be books, magazines. You need to read something, because leaders are readers at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Yes. I so agree with that. And I love the comments that we're getting in the group here. We have someone has said, you have to believe, definitely. And then I believe in God, so I seek him first. Absolutely. I think, whatever faith-based, I grew up Christian as well. I think now I don't know what label to call myself, because I am, like you're saying, just like one of those people who are constantly seeking knowledge and wisdom. And there's wisdom in all practices. There's wisdom in all aspects of life and parts of the world. So, I advocate for, just being a lifelong learner, and definitely being open-minded, and whatever labels you want, cool, whatever is feeding you. I think that we have to, especially as women, we have to be very grounded in what we're looking for and what moves us, because what moves someone might not move you, and vice versa. So I guess my question then for you would be, was there a moment in your life that helped you kind of have this aha moment that, like, wait a minute, I need to rein in my life, and this is how I'm going to do it, and that's how you came to these 7 steps? Or was it a multitude of events that led to this?
Honestly, I think it was a multitude of steps. Of course, you go through transitions in your life, in your 20s, teens in your 20s. And of course, I'm in my 30s now. And I think, different experiences kind of shaped who I am as a woman. And I wanted to share that what I had learned over the years, that there are certain things that you have to do. Well, you don't have to do, because we're all free moral agents. But if you want to reign properly, there's some things that you need to do in order to really, not only be this boss babe, because, we like to say that term a lot, but in order to really affect change in your community and in your world. So I just think it was a plethora of things that I had to experience over my life, dealing with, wisdom, and because there were times in my life that I did think I knew it all. And of course I didn't. So I had to, go through that process. And I'm glad that, now that I'm older, I'm able to understand that you have to glean to your elders, and you have to listen to them, especially people that you trust, not just anybody, people that you trust. And just some things that I had to go through, even in my own walk through life, as far as, discovering my purpose. That was the, years of, searching. I was in my 20s, and I'm thinking, what God, why am I here? What am I supposed to do? So I would say it was a lot of things along the way.
Absolutely. All right. We have a couple more comments about like spirituality. We have a little bit of a dig at baby boomers. Hey guys, I hear you. Every generation has their own set of wisdom. And I think that being a millennial, we are in a position to be able to go back to older generations and show them the way, and not necessarily, get frustrated, because I think there's things that we don't know that they can teach us, and vice versa. So I think that especially with like, I don't know if you saw in the news about like the boomer term and how people are like, that's derogatory to refer to. I just think that we need to be compassionate. I think 2020 is a perfect opportunity to have clarity in our lives, but also clarity in who we are as humans. What does the human race stand for? And I think that with a bit more compassion, a bit more love on each other and for ourselves, we don't have to get so angry and frustrated with people who come from different age groups and backgrounds, and nonetheless. But I think what I thought was interesting, and I'd love for having you here as an author to talk about it, is with these 7 steps. And again, guys, if you want to understand the full formula for how to reign in your life, you need to buy the book, right? And she has it as a great affordable price. Go to dressforyourmate.com, pick up the copy today. It is on Amazon. She does book tours, and we'll talk about that more, about how you can get the book as well. But for commitment, right? As a coach, as coach to coach, right? We know the biggest thing that people struggle with is not necessarily the intention, right? Coming up with the dream. There's some people who struggle with step 1, but most of the time I would say it's that execution. And recently I was reading a book that said success is 10% intention, 90% execution. So when it comes to reigning in your life with these 7 key steps that you've laid out in this book, what do you think are the best ways to help people commit to this formula for themselves?
I think for me, I'm all big on accountability. Having an accountability partner, whether it be one person, whether it be a mastermind group, because I'm in a group of 3 girls, and we hold each other accountable when it comes to things we have going on in our lives, whether it be business, professional things, personal. And I think just having that accountability, someone that can really give you that nudge, like, Crystal, are you working on your self-esteem? Are you working on gaining wisdom? Have you read any books this month? You need to have someone to hold you accountable. And a lot of times people don't want to be held accountable because they want to have that excuse like, oh, I'm too busy, or I had this to do, or I had that to do. You need accountability. Even as a coach, when I'm coaching pageant girls, that accountability, like, have you been practicing your interview questions? Have you been practicing? You have to ask the hard questions, even though they may not want to hear those. And not only do you want an accountability partner, you want an accountability partner that will give you tough love, if that makes sense. Because and that's something I'm working on, because for years I've had this mindset that I don't want to hurt people's feelings, but it's not hurting people's feelings. You're just holding them accountable, and you just kind of giving them that tough love, and there's nothing wrong with that. So that's something I'm actually working on myself. But you need someone, like, you don't need a yes woman or yes man the whole time. You need someone like, Crystal, no, you need to get it together.
Yeah, I think that's so critical. I've found in my own coaching that, the best way to know when someone is not sticking to their word or sticking to their dreams is through procrastination, right? We say, oh, we're going to do this on Tuesday, and here we are 2 Tuesdays from now, and it's still not done. As a coach, it's our job. That's what we're paid for. That's why we've built this platform for others to be able to go in and ask the hard questions. Like, okay, well, why haven't you done it? I'm busy. Okay, break that out. What does busy mean for you? Is it I'm not feeling worthy? Is it I'm not feeling capable? Is it
Yeah.
I'm scared of what happens if this is successful? I'm scared if this fails, right? There's fear, there's worthiness. It's a love issue. I just was having a conversation with one of my clients in the idea that, like, if you were to say, if your partner or your loved one says to you, oh, I don't think I could do this, what do? We jump up in arms. Hopefully we jump up in arms and we're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
You're going to do this. You're amazing, right? But then when we flip the script and then we look at ourselves, why aren't we just as impassioned? Why are we not as determined to say, absolutely not, I will not delay this anymore. Absolutely not, I will be doing this and it will succeed, right? We don't love ourselves enough into propelling ourselves into the blessings and prosperity in front of us. So we've got to be passionate, especially as women, because we tend to be the caretakers in the world, right? But who's taking care of you? You're out here taking care of Tommy and Jen and grandma and mom and da-da-da. But wait a minute, who's taking care of you? That's you. That's your job, right? And change begins with you. No matter who inspires you, no matter what, you've got to take action. That's the only way that your life can change. You've got to do something, right? So I guess when it comes to accountability, would you also say, what would you say out of the 7 steps is probably the hardest one to be accountable for?
Let's see. I'm going through the 7 steps in my head right now.
Yeah.
I would say probably, this is just personal opinion, I would say the crown of self-esteem. And the reason why I say that, because self-esteem looks different for everybody. Self-esteem can deal with weight. It can deal with career, entrepreneurship. So that may be hard for some people to really kind of, because that's something I have to work on even myself, because sometimes I doubt my own abilities, but I have to kind of take a step back and be my own hype man. Like, Crystal, you can do this. You can do this. Like, get it together. Stop being a negative Nancy. And you have to do that. You have to be your own hype man, because a lot of times you may have an accountability group, but if that person is not around, what are you going to do? You're just going to sit there and just mope, just negativity, your toxic thoughts. So I would think the self-esteem part, because that's such a crucial issue when it comes to reigning, because a lot of women don't move forward because of that self-esteem piece, because they feel like they're not worthy enough, or they don't have the knowledge, or they don't have the skills, or they don't have the support, so they just stay stagnant. And then 5 years pass by, they told you in 2018 they were going to be an author, but it's 2020 and they still haven't written the first draft. So and a lot of times they don't want to address the self-esteem part. They just think, they'll say stuff like, I'm just so busy. Let's dig a little deeper. It's more to that. We're all busy, Yeah. We make time for what's important to us. Because when people tell me they're busy, I get that. But at the end of the day, we make time for what's important to us. Everybody has at least 15 minutes in a day to do something.
Exactly. Yeah, I think for me, one of the biggest things I had to realize with self-esteem and loving myself as a bigger body person, I've been plus size since I started gaining weight at the age of 6. I've been big ever since. And, that has been a roller coaster ride. And ultimately, you've read The Secret, right?
I have.
Yeah. And know that according to the law of attraction and The Secret and, Abraham Hicks and all of that good stuff is the idea of choice, that everything in our life is a choice. And that's if you think about that statement and that concept, it's really challenging, because you're saying, so someone is choosing to be a drug addict. Yes. When someone is choosing to not write that book. Yes.
Yes.
Someone is choosing to not feel powerful. Yes. When someone is choosing fear over faith. Yes. Every single time. And you're like, well, gosh darn it, right? Like, you're just like, this is some interesting stuff, but it is, because it's truth is the only safe ground you can stand on. And when you can get that real with yourself, and we are in 2020, literally, it is symbolic for vision and clarity. You're going to sit here and try to act like this is just happening. I don't know. Nope. It is a choice. Every single time. It's a choice to wake up. It's a choice to live the life you want, and it's a choice not to, right? Yes. So I agree. And with self-esteem, it's a choice to love yourself. It's a choice to see yourself as a queen every single day. And if you choose not to, then you have to deal with the consequences of that. But if you can choose I want to love myself enough to look at myself and feel powerful, then what can you do? You can create a self-empowerment regimen. You can read, you can gain wisdom. You can surround yourself with people that make you feel good and not make you feel bad. Everything is a choice. So for 2020, I guess, what would be your biggest advice for people other than picking up the book and buying it and reading it today? Yes, today. What can they do? What can they do to start making change today in their life right now?
I would say, and this is something I tell people all the time, and this is something I wish I would have told my 16-year-old self now that I'm 34, is to be unapologetic about who you are and what you do. Just be okay with who you are at the end of the day, because everybody is not going to be traditional. Everybody's not going to have a traditional job. Some people are entrepreneurs. Some people like to run. Some people like to ski. I'm like, be okay with who you are and don't be ashamed of that. So once you acknowledge that you are who you are, then we can go from, okay, so how do we maintain that? How do we maintain that self-esteem? What are some things we can do? Okay, maybe we need to write some affirmations. Maybe we need to say the affirmations out loud in front of a mirror. I know that sounds weird, but it works because I do it myself.
Powerful,
So if you have to say in the mirror, I am fierce and fabulous, you say it 100 times until you believe it, then you say it 100 times until you believe it. You have to write it in your journal 200 times until you believe it. Do what you have to do, because at the end of the day, you want to make 2020 your best year ever. You want to reign. You don't want to just be stagnant, just being here, just existing. I'm like, that's boring. Do that. Like, there's so much more in you for you to accomplish and to do great things in the world.
Yes, absolutely. And we have a comment saying, I struggle as BBW because I'm always only seen as sexually attractive. Listen, the talk is real. Absolutely. You know, I'm, as a plus size girl, I'm very cognizant about the type of clothing and the type of silhouettes I choose, because, you know, when you are bigger, your body becomes hyper sexualized, and it's also hyper scrutinized. And so the best way to deal with that, to be honest, I think, and then you can talk as a petite person, you know, kind of what are your body issues or things that you struggle with. But I would say from a bigger perspective, you have to stop caring about what other people think. Other people are going to do what they want to do. Other people are going to look at you and have comments, look at you and decide what they want to do. But it's your body, it's your life. For you to claim ownership of your life, you've got to be savage enough to say that in my mind, I only have room for what I think and what I'm doing. Now, that voice inside your head, right, that you're trying to focus on, yes, it can always learn and evolve by wisdom and by coaching and things like that. But at the end of the day, other people's opinions, other people's thoughts on you, you don't have time, you don't have space. And make that decision and move on, right? Instead of back and forth of, well, this person said this. Who cares? Who cares? You're not living your life. You're not paying your bills. And even if they are, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. But most important opinion is the opinion you have of yourself. And you cannot control other people. So when you can accept that, then you are free. You're liberated, because there's nothing you can do about it. So I'm just gonna do me. Now, I'd love for you to share, you know, as a petite person, what body stuff have you, I guess, conquered and dealt with, and how is that connected to kind of what we're talking about reigning in your life?
Honestly, I did struggle with being petite as a teenager, because I was so thick. Well, I'm still thin, but I was even thinner back then, and people would make fun of me, call me poor, like poor, like I have no. Or they would say I was anorexic. And I'm thinking, man, I eat 3 or 4 times a day. I'm not anorexic. And the problem with that was I have such a high metabolism that I could eat as much as I want and just burn it off. And then being a runner, I'm like, it doesn't help the fact either, because I'm burning it off as well. So that was a struggle for me as a preteen, as a teen. And then as I got older, I just didn't care about it anymore. I'm like, this is who I am. I'm never going to be a size 20. I'm like, it is what it is. You know, I'm trying to at least get to a size 6, which we're pushing, you know. Honestly, I do want a little weight on me, like in certain areas of my body. But at the end of the day, this is how God created me to be. If he likes it, I love it, and my husband loves it, and that's all that matters.
Okay, yeah. So we have a comment, dating world. That's what I meant. Yeah, I mean, it's about when it comes to when people view you in the dating world, ultimately, again, if someone is coming at you and it's all just about the exterior, that person's not for you, right? That person, I understand initially, right, when people swipe left and swipe left, right, it's all about just the looks, but you have to have a conversation. And if the conversation with certain people is going to places of just like body and exterior, that's not what this world's about, right? Like, we're not put on this earth to just be hot or to talk about our looks. Like, it's supposed to be a deeper evolvement, right? Let's think about Buddha, and let's think about like, how are we transcending, right? And so the right people for you are going to have the right conversations, right? They're going to talk about politics. They're going to talk about religion. They're going to talk about music. They're going to talk about art. They're going to talk about what's important. And the most important things in this world have nothing to do with how you look. Like, I understand our society is obsessed with like celebrities and but at the end of the day, it's about the meaningful work that we do. It's about how we give back to our communities. You know, literally Australia is on fire right now, right? There are so many Black girls that are gone missing, and no one's talking about it in the news, right? Like, there are horrendous things happening with our planet. The world is literally on fire. What shade of lipstick we're wearing, really, in the grand scheme of things, not that important. Is it helpful? Yeah, because beauty can help us feel good and help us feel beautiful, but it's not churning the the tide when it comes to like the most important things in life. So if you're dating, or anyone's out here looking for people in life, in this dating world, which I know is extremely tough, it's about finding that right person, because that right person's gonna have right conversations with you. So hopefully that helps. And with that, I don't want to take up too much of your time, Crystal, because she's a busy coach. She's an author. She's got things to do, y'all. So if you want a copy of the book, Crystal, show the book again.
Absolutely.
Yes. DressingRoommate.com. Pick a copy up. It's going to take you to Amazon. You can buy it today. Read it today. Get motivated and activated. Take action today. That's the first step. And how to reign is to learn what reigning is all about. And then we can proceed, right? So now, in addition to that, would you like to drop a little bit of info about some of the other books you have and some things that are coming up with you, and also how people can get in touch with you, connect with you?
Absolutely. My very first book, which I authored in 2017, is called, for anybody that's on here that's interested in pageantry or want to know more about pageantry, it's called Manifest the Crown, a crystal clear guide to pageantry success. And it's a book that I wrote based on my own experience as a contestant and what I learned and what I feel it takes to actually win your own crown or manifest your own crown. So that's the first book. Number two, I talked about, being big on affirmations. I wrote a book of 50 affirmations. It's called Affirm the Queen, 50 affirmations that empower women and girls for success. I am a big believer of speaking life over yourself. And I created 50 that you can use to speak over yourself. You can write in your journal. You can say them multiple times a day, whatever you need to do, because I believe that when we affirm ourselves and we affirm ourselves properly, we can do anything. So book number two. Book number three is called Kingdom Finances. I mentioned that I am a financial coach, and I believe that, we as women, we need to get our money together. We need to make sound financial decisions. And I wrote a book of financial principles that I live by that have enabled me to live out not only I'm not where I want to be financially, but I've been able to make some, sound financial decisions to get out of debt, to save money, some things that we all need to know about. So just get that's another book you can get if you really want to change your mindset about money. If you want to incorporate principles in your life, Kingdom Finances is another one. My next book is called Cash for the Crown, for my pageant as well. That's another one for you. For those of you who want to enter a pageant, but you're thinking, oh my gosh, it's too much money, I don't have the money. I give you 12 ways to pay for your pageant expenses, and they're innovative ways. They're not your traditional, get the second job or do this. I have come up with 12 ways to really, not only just 12 ways, but 12 fun ways that you can have fun and make money at the same time.
I love that. And are you currently working on a sixth book?
Well, not at the moment. I have ideas. I have titles, but I haven't started writing. So I haven't decided if I'm going to start this year or if I'm going to wait until next year. But I think I'm probably going to, start it this year, knowing me, because that's just who I am. I like to write. So I'm kind of toying which book I want to start with, because I really want to write a book that a financial principle, not really a financial principle book, but a financial book for millennials, to really teach them how to, not only properly manage their money, but to really just understand money in general. I think a lot of times people just don't understand money and how it works, you know, at the end of the day. So that's one of my ideas I'm working on. And I also have a memoir about my life and some things that has happened in my life that, you know, has enabled me to be the person I am. So I'm kind of torn. I'm not sure which one I'm going to start first. Okay. We'll see.
I think the Millennial Money book is probably something that would be super helpful, not just for millennials, but also probably younger. I forget what the next generation name is, but you know, there's everything. It's really wild in these streets, guys. But you know, that sounds interesting to me. But I think I mean, your life also, that's an interesting story. And then I know there's health stuff, and there's a lot of wisdom that you carry in this world that I think people could benefit from. So guys, what do you need to do? Where do they need to go to follow you, to champion you, to learn more about kind of what's going on with you on the blog and all the other writing that you're doing too?
Absolutely. Go to my main website, www.crystalclearpageantry.com, and Crystal is spelled Krystle. You have access to my blog. You have, if you're interested in having a pageant coach or a financial coach, you can sign up there. My books are on my website. Pretty much it's a one-stop shop. And of course, you can follow me on Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram at crystalclearpageantry.com. Oh, excuse me, at Crystal Clear Pageantry.
Perfect. Yep. Awesome. All right, guys. So that pretty much concludes this conversation. Thank you for everyone who joined on the live. Thank you for anyone who's going to watch us on the replay. Please put in the comments #replay. If you have questions, if you have comments that you want to connect with Crystal or I, let us know. Again, my name is Natasha Nurse. Dressing Your Mate is a coaching and consulting platform. I really adore Crystal, and I'm so honored that you've come on here to not only share wonderful nuggets of wisdom, but also just get everyone excited. I'm just like, oh, because I already know about your other books, but I'm like, yeah, I have to go check this out again, right? 2020, guys. Let's grow, let's reign in our lives. So thank you, Crystal.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your day and come back for the next Dress Your Mate book club in February. Get all the details again, dressyourmate.com, where you can also get Crystal's book today. All righty, guys.
Leave a review.
Yes, and leave a review. Yes.
Reviews help us authors. They help us tremendously.
Yes. Awesome, guys. So we'll see you guys soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.